أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So our traveler is starting from the heavens. He is then turning back to atmosphere. What's happening in the atmosphere? So we looked at the clouds. We looked at the the others here. The wind, and we are now looking at the rain. Inshallah, let's read the first part. The traveler then looks at the rain and sees that within those delicate, glistening, sweet drops sent from a hidden treasury of mercy, there are so many compassionate gifts and functions contained that that it is as if mercy itself were assuming shape and flowing forth from the dominical lordly treasure in the form of drops. It is for this reason that rain has been called mercy. Next, the traveler looks at the lightning and listens to the thunder and sees one E is missing, it's a typo, sees that both of these two are employed in wondrous tasks. Maybe we can stop here so we can discuss the rain. Then lightning and thunder comes. The next paragraph, inshallah, we can go on after discussing these first two paragraphs. So the traveler looks at the rain and sees that within those delicate, glistening, sweet drops sent from a hidden treasury of mercy, there are so many compassionate gifts and functions contained that it is as if mercy itself were assuming shape and flowing forth from the dominical lordly treasure in the form of drops. It is for this reason that rain has been called mercy. So in Islamic tradition, for example, sometimes it's raining. We say that rahmat is raining. So raining became a mercy. So it is called as mercy because it is bringing us mercy from the heavens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending us mercy. So his mercy is embodied in the form of drops. We are calling that, mercy is coming, mercy is raining. So there are many, Sayyid Nursi is mentioning these meanings: delicate, glistening, sweet drops sent from a hidden treasury of mercy. So out of nothing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he very quickly, he is gathering the clouds, and although there was no clouds in the sky, in a very short time, they are gathering and bringing rain from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, flowing forth from the lordly treasure, Rabbani treasure. So it is coming from the unseen treasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
If you look at the rain, there may be some causes. For example, this evaporation from the ocean and the seas, and it is escalating towards the sky, and it forms the clouds, and then afterwards it is moved to the land area by the winds, and there are certain causes to occur rain. Some people try to try to explain all occasions with the causes. Even the rain can also be explained with some causes, but those causes doesn't create the rain. We are always in need of causer of the causes, and then there must be somebody who applied this rule, who applied this rule, and at the same time it must be arranged with an all-knowing one and also all-merciful one. I think like that. Yeah, some people only try to explain the things with the causes, but as believer, we also think that yeah, even though there are causes, but the causes cannot create the things, there must be somebody behind those causes, and he is arranging this rule in the creation, in the nature, and he is bringing the rain. Nowadays in Turkey, there is lack of rain. Then everybody was praying. Alhamdulillah, now in Adana, now it's raining. Maybe in some other areas also, I think in Turkey, Alhamdulillah. Rahmah arrived, Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so apparently it is acting what's happening in the atmosphere. Apparently it is acting randomly, but when we look at deep, so the causes prepared for the rain, it shows that it's not happening by itself, it's not happening by a chance. So the science is telling us there are many delicate balance in the sending of the rain, and the causes which is happening, which is causing the rain. So they are not acting randomly, but of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it in a apparently random way, so that we can be aware of our need, and we want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the mercy, the rahmah. It's hidden in the unseen, so that we can want from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as you define, Abi. Allah wants us to want from him alone. Yes, the causes are apparent. Yes, shall we inshallah continue the next paragraph? Who wants to read? Nabi Abi, you can read, inshallah, if you are available.
Inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Then, taking his eyes off these, he looks to his own intellect and says, the inanimate, lifeless cloud that resembles carded cotton has, of course, no knowledge of us. When it comes to our aid, it's not because it takes pity on us. It cannot appear and disappear without receiving orders. Rather, it acts in accordance with the orders of a most powerful and compassionate commander. First, it disappears without leaving a trace, then suddenly reappears in order to begin its work. By the command and power of a most active and exalted, most magnificent and splendid monarch, it fills and then empties the atmosphere, inscribing the sky with wisdom and erasing the pattern. It makes of the sky a tablet of effacement and affirmation, a depiction of the gathering and the resurrection. By the contriving of a most generous and bountiful, a most magnificent and solicitous sustainer, a ruler who regulates and disposes, it mounts the wind, and taking with it treasuries of rain, each as heavy as a mountain, hastens to the aid of the needy. It is as if it were weeping over them in pity, with its tears causing the flowers to smile, tempering the heat of the sun, spraying gardens with water, and washing and cleansing the face of the earth.
Yeah, inshallah, we can discuss this part. So this part is making us think upon this and these happenings, these incidents. What's happening in the atmosphere? So inanimate, lifeless cloud that resembles carded cotton, so a piece of cotton thrown, for example, in the air. So it is it looks like the shapes of the clouds, as if a carded cotton, has of course no knowledge of us when it comes to our aid. It is not because it takes pity on us. So the raindrops, they are unaware of our existence, of course. It cannot appear and disappear without receiving orders. Rather, it acts in accordance with the orders of a most powerful and compassionate commander. First, it disappears without leaving a trace. So there is a typo here. Yes, disappear. So first it disappears. The clouds disappearing without leaving a trace, then suddenly reappears in order to begin its work. By the command and power of a most active and exalted and most magnificent and splendid monarch, it fills and then empties the atmosphere, inscribing the sky with wisdom and erasing the pattern. It makes of the sky a tablet of effacement and affirmation. So this is for levhi mahva isbat. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is writing as if writing something in the sky with his power, then he is erasing it, he is removing it, and he is writing another page on the sky. So a depiction of the gathering and the resurrection by contriving a most generous and bountiful and most munificent and sustainer, a ruler who regulates and disposes it mounts the wind. It is Allah subhanahu is putting the wind and putting the clouds on the wind, and with the treasuries of rain, each as heavy as a mountain, hastens to the aid of the needy. So this is the structure of the clouds. Yeah, it's also so interesting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeping maybe tons of water in the air, perfectly. It doesn't fell down on our heads, but it is kept in the air, perfectly suspended in the air. It is as if it were weeping over them in pity, with its tears causing the flowers to smile, tempering the heat of the sun, spraying gardens with water, and washing and cleansing the face of the earth. So there are many beauties of the raining. So for example, we love, if the weather is available, we love walking under the rain. If it is not so heavy, it becomes so sweet, giving pleasure. So the results of the rain also so pleasurable results. The results Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending with rain. Yes. Any comments?
Just to add to our reflection, I mean, the science we learned in primary school or middle school kind of oversimplifies the rain. I mean, it's not just the clouds and the cold weather, as I mean, basically we know it. Like, for example, without the dust storms in the Sahara, most of the world, I mean, Sahara Desert, it's said that most of the rain wouldn't happen. Like those dust from those dust storms, and then the humidity and clouds and the a perfect temperature must come together for that rain. I mean, it's not something so simple. So it takes a lot of planning, which can be only done with the by the creator who creates all of them together.
Thank you, Fatih abi. This is very important. So it's the raining, the actions, the what's happening in the atmosphere while raining and before the preliminaries of the raining. It's it's not as you define. It's not happening randomly. It's not happening by chance. But there's a perfect art there. There's a perfect wisdom there. A power and will is happening, acting in the atmosphere so that we get rain, out of the mercy of the most merciful. So it shows the power and mercy of the creator, the one who knows us, the one who loves us, who shows pity on us. Because we cannot rule the heavens, we cannot control the clouds or the wind or anything. Even we are not able to control our stomach, our most important functions of our body. How can we rule the what's happening around us? It is beyond our capacity, beyond the capacity of humanity. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made everything as like a servant to us, subjected to us everything. So Allah wants us to see this subjugation. Everything is has been made servant to humanity. So for that purpose, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the rain under the veil of the unseen. Yes. Any comment over this meaning of the rain?
Assalamu alaikum.
As
I am listening to the duties of rain at the end of the paragraph you read, I remembered one sentence from the 14th word. I'd like to share it. The duties we are reading now, duties of rain, causing the flowers to smile, tempering the heat of the sun, spraying gardens with water, and washing and cleansing the face of the earth. The sentence I'd like to share is in the 14th word. It is this: the all-powerful one of glory gives numerous duties to each element, and through each duty causes them to produce numerous different results. The rain has a lot of duties. Each duty has a lot of results. This indicates the infinite knowledge of Allah, infinite power of Allah, infinite mercy of Allah. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Alabi. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He is all wise, so in everything He is carrying out many functions. He is showing us many beauties in one thing. While sending the rain, it has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing many aspects of His mercy or His wisdom. Yes, not one, not two, maybe many. We are not able to count them all. Even we are not able to understand them all with our limited knowledge we are given. Yes. Any other comments? So we can continue if there is no other comment. Alabi, can you continue reading that paragraph? That wandering traveler.
Yes. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. That wandering traveler then tells his own intellect. These hundreds of thousands of wise, merciful, and ingenious tasks and acts of generosity and mercy that arise from the veil and outer form of this inanimate, lifeless, unconscious, volatile, unstable, stormy, unsettled, and inconstant air clearly establish that this diligent wind, this tireless servant, never acts of itself, but rather in accordance with the orders of a most powerful and knowing, a most wise and generous commander. It is as if each particle were aware of every single task, like a soldier, understanding and hearkening to every order of its commander. For it hears and obeys every dominical command that courses through the air. It aids all animals to breathe and to live, all plants to pollinate and grow, and cultivates all the matter necessary for their survival. It directs and administers the clouds, makes possible the voyaging of sailing ships, and enables sounds to be conveyed, particularly by means of wireless telephone, telegraph, and radio, as well as numerous other universal functions. Now, these atoms, each composed of two such simple materials as hydrogen and oxygen, and each resembling the other, exist in hundreds of thousands of different fashions all over the globe. I conclude, therefore, that they are being employed and set to work in the utmost orderliness by a hand of wisdom.
We can read that part out.
Yes, as the verse makes clear, and the disposition of the winds and the clouds held in disciplined order between the heavens and the earth. As the verse makes clear, and the disposition of the winds and the clouds held in disciplined order between the heavens and the earth. The one who, through disposition of the winds, employs them in countless dominical functions, who, through the ordering of the clouds, uses them in infinite tasks of mercy, and who creates the air in this fashion, such a one can only be the possessor of necessary existence, the one empowered over all things and knowledgeable of all things, the sustainer endowed with glory and generosity. This is the conclusion our traveler now draws.
So the air, we read the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever functions he is making the air carry out. So these functions are so interesting. Ustad has mentioned the particles of the wind. So what they are doing, it's really unimaginable. Our mind stops at that point. So every particle of the air, they are, although as mentioned here, lifeless, unconscious, volatile, unstable, stormy, unsettled, and inconstant air. So there is a continuous action in the air, but there are many acts Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing with the air. It shows that there's a perfect balance in the air. There's a perfect act. So we are, for example, having communication through air. We are getting many uses from the air. So it shows that they are not acting randomly, the particles of the air. So they are getting commands from a most perfect commander, most powerful commander. So they are getting commands. They are perfectly obeys the rules of the commander, who is most powerful and most wise commander. We understand. So to provide breathe, so to all animals and plants, the human beings, to pollinate, cultivating at the same time. Yes. And all these are happening at the same time. So as we maybe we mentioned in the previous session, in our previous lesson, we mentioned it. So all these are happening at the same time. The same particles are acting many duties. They are carrying out many duties, and one duty is not making an obstacle. It doesn't handicap another duty, so they do not give up their duties while making another duty. So human beings, we are limited beings. We are not able to understand this. So we are able to make one or two actions at the same time. Maybe mostly one action we can make, the other will be in the in the shadow or the other act. But Allah subhanahu amazing, making the particles of the air carrying out many duties at the same time, while transmitting the sounds, the voices in the air. It's not only one type, of course. The radio air waves, so the sounds and so on, many types of transmission is happening in the air at the same time. It can make pollination, the particles of the air. So all these are showing the power of most powerful one. His wisdom and his knowledge is appearing there, because we are, with our technology, we are trying to understand what's happening in the air. We understand a little part of it, maybe with our all our advanced technology. Yes. Any more comment over this?
I think one of the most important bounty over humanity can also be considered as air. The water is okay, mercy, rahmah itself. It's very important for the life, but air is also at the same critical importance. Wherever we go, the air, the oxygen concentration must be about 21%. And the nitrogen concentration must be about 78%. And wherever we go, it's there. If we go seaside, it's similar. When we go to maybe mountains, a little bit only changes, maybe oxygen concentration, but it's within variable limits. Then we do not need to carry our bottles of the air. And wherever we go, this bounty is there. And then only we take breath. By breathing, we take it into our lung, and by that way we get it to our body. Such a concentration is also very crucial for the life of the human being. I think in the printing there is something wrong here. Hydrogen is written there. It must be not nitrogen. Okay? Since air is composed of nitrogen and oxygen, but water is composed of hydrogen and oxygen. Okay?
Mentioning the air here.
Mentioning the air. Yeah, this is all air.
Yes, the water, I think it should be for water, correct?
Rain is, or water is hydrogen and oxygen, yes. But the air is nitrogen and oxygen. Therefore, this must be corrected. Okay.
Yes, you can.
Even the majority of the, if we call air, majority is nitrogen, 78%.
78.
Oxygen is only 21%.
21. Yeah, if it is the clean air. If it is clean, yes, 71. 21%.
21%.
Yes. Any more comments? I saw one brother also opened the. Okay, he has gone. So we can continue reading the. There is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the function of the clouds. وتصريف الرياح والسحاب لمسخر بين السماء والأرض. Riyah, so this is wind. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the winds and the clouds many duties. So they are controlled, disposed by a most compassionate creator. Yes.
Yeah, it's, it says between sema and between sky and the earth. For example, evaporation occurs there. Then, okay, water droplets as vapor. It's elevating. It's going upwards, going upwards, going upwards. But at a certain time, they stop there. If they escape from the atmosphere, it was very difficult to control the system in the world. Therefore, it must be between earth and between sema. It should not escape from the sky to the sky.
So they are gathering also. They are gathering together the particles of the water after evaporation. So they gather and they form the clouds. This is also so miraculous. It shows that they are under the command of one who is ruling everything. Yes. Shall we continue, inshallah, the rain, the functions of the rain we are inshallah going to read. Fatiha, if you are available, can you read the rain?
Yeah, I'm not available to read, sorry.
Okay, you're maybe Emin abi, if you are available.
Yeah, Emin must be here. Yes, he's available, always available.
Thank you, Abi. Then he looks at the rain and sees that within it are contained. Sorry, I couldn't read that part.
So, can you make your voice a little bit louder, Abi?
Sorry.
Or you can get closer to the microphone, yes.
Okay. Then he looks at the rain and sees that within it are contained benefits as numerous as the raindrops and dominical manifestation as multiple as the particles of rain, and instances of wisdom as plentiful as its atoms. Those sweet, delicate, and blessed drops are moreover created in so beautiful and ordered a fashion that particularly the rain sent in the summertime is dispatched and caused to fall with such balance and regularity that not even stormy winds that cause large objects to collide can destroy its equilibrium and order. The drops do not collide with each other or merge in such fashion as to become harmful masses of water. Water, composed of two simple elements like hydrogen and oxygen, is employed in hundreds of thousands of otherwise purposeful tasks. Purposeful tasks and arts, particularly in animate beings, although it is itself inanimate and unconscious. Rain, which is then the very embodiment of divine mercy, can only be manufactured in the unseen treasure of mercy, mercy of one most compassionate and merciful. And on its descent expounds in physical form the verse, and it is who sends down rain after men have despaired, and thus spread out his mercy. The traveler next listens to the thunder and watches the lightning. He understands that these two wondrous events in the atmosphere are like a material demonstration of the verse. The thunder glorifies his praise. The brilliance of his lightning almost robs them of their sight. They also announce the coming of rain and thus give glad tidings to the needy. Yes, this sudden utterance of a miraculous sound by the atmosphere, the filling of the dark sky with the flash and fire of lightning, the setting alight of the clouds that resemble mountains of cotton or pipes bursting with water and snow. These and similar phenomena are like a blow struck on the head of the negligent man whose gaze is directed down at the earth. They tell him, lift up your head. Look at the miraculous deeds of the most active and powerful being who wishes to make himself known in the same way that you are not left to your own devices, so too these phenomena and events have a master and purpose. Each of them is caused to fulfill a particular task, and each is employed by a most wise disposer. The wandering traveler hears then the lofty and manifest testimony to the truth that is composed of the disposition of the winds, the descent of the rains, and the administration of the events of atmosphere, and says, I believe in Allah. That which was stated in the second degree of the first station expresses the observations of the traveler concerning the atmosphere. There is no God but Allah, the necessary being, to whose necessary existence in unity the atmosphere and all it contains testifies through the testimony of the sublimity of the comprehensiveness of the truth of subjugation, disposal causing to descent and regulation, a truth vast and perfect and to be observed.
So, inshallah, let's go back to the beginning of the paragraph we started reading, the rain. So, looks at the rain and sees that within it, in the rain are contained benefits as numerous as the raindrops. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is if sending mercy to us with the number of the raindrops and dominical lordly manifestations, Rabbani, tajalliyat, what we call lordly manifestations, as multiple as the particles of rain, and instances of wisdom as plentiful as its atoms. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is as if raining to making the rain to run our assistance. Those sweet, delicate, blessed drops are moreover created in so beautiful and ordered a fashion that particularly the rain sent in the summertime is dispatched and caused to fall us such balance and regularity. So mostly, the rains are bringing us, mostly in the most, maybe we can consider the percentage. It's bringing us mercy. Sometimes it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending in different forms the rains. It may maybe cause some harm, but it is of course because of our misuse of our sources. Yes, so it is coming with falling with such balance and regularity that not even stormy winds that cause large objects to collide can destroy its equilibrium and order. The drops do not collide with each other or merge in such a fashion as to become harmful masses of water. So here, mentioning the rain or the hail, the snow. So with the perfect law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the art of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they do not gather together in the air. So they are dropping one by one. Otherwise, it would be a terrifying, destructive incident it would cause. Water composed of two simple elements. So in the previous part said the air. I looked at the original text. It's azote and oxygen. nitrogen and oxygen. Here mentioning the water, hydrogen and oxygen, composed of two simple elements, hydrogen and oxygen, is employed in hundreds of thousands of other wise, purposeful tasks and arts, particularly in animate beings, although it is itself inanimate. So the particles, they are lifeless, inanimate, unconscious. Rain, which is then the very embodiment of divine mercy, the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can only be manufactured in the unseen treasury of mercy of one most compassionate and merciful, and on its descent expands in physical form. The ayah here, we read the ayah, وَهُوَ الَّذِي يُنَزِّلُ الْغَيْثَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا قَنَطُوا وَيَنْشُرُ رَحْمَتَهُ. And it is who sends down, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rain after men have despaired, and thus spreads out his mercy. The traveler, so regarding this part, any comment over the rain? Any point you want to share to focus?
I want to mention something.
Yes, Abi.
As far as I understand from this part, as a human being, we have two bad habits. One of them, we are forgetting easily. One of them, whenever we lost a bounty, we understand its value. As Nebi Abi said at the beginning of the lesson, Konya is also rainy today, but there wasn't for a long time. So we missed very much rain. And today, whoever I talked with today, everybody was thankful to Allah today because it was rain outside. I walked also, as you said, Jasmine, I walked outside under the rain.
Yeah.
So Risale-i Nur is reminding us these are bounties. Also, as a mirror of Quran and reflections of Quran, we should be careful to rainy. We should be careful to. We should be thankful to Allah always. Maazallah, if we lost air, then maybe we understand the value of air also. Allah korusun.
Yes. So
Does it mean that today, by being wet, you realized rahmah on yourself better?
Inshallah abi.
so the rain is in the unseen, the veil of the unseen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants us to seek from Him whatever we need. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is turning us in different conditions. For example, this drought is one a condition, a difficulty. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants us to be aware of who is sending the rain, who is ruling over the heavens, who is ruling everything. So these kind of conditions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is putting us in these conditions so that we can understand who is the ruler, who is the master, the Lord of everything. Yes.
That means that in the absence of the rahmah, we must feel our weakness and importance, then our neediness to that bounty. If that bounty is bestowed upon us, then we must be thankful to the supplier, to the provider by that way. Huh?
Yes. Thank you, Abi. So what comes after the rain, the thunder. Yes, the thunder and the lightning. Listens to the thunder and watches the lightning. He understands that these two wondrous events in the atmosphere are like a material demonstration of the ayah, وَيُسَبِّحُ الرَّعْدُ بِحَمْدِهِ. In the of course the Arabic word ra'd, so it has the sound of the, it is roaring, the sound. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the thunder. It's a frightening incident. In fact, under when it happens, we feel a trembling in our body. For example, when it comes, so it is, maybe it is talking to us, we are coming, the raindrops, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning us before it comes. Yes, you said bihur ra'd. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining the thunder glorifies with his praise. Missing with. So the brilliance of his lightning, the second ayah, yakadu sana barqihi yadhhabu bil absar. The brilliance of his lightning almost robs them of their sight. This also, lightning also, it is maybe it is causing us also a trembling happening in our body also. So these are the thunder and lightning. It is a wondrous event happening in the atmosphere. They are giving good tidings of the rain. They announce the coming of the rain, and they thus give glad tidings to the needy. Yes, this sudden utterance of a miraculous sound by the atmosphere, the filling of the dark sky with the flash and fire of lightning, the setting alight of the clouds that resemble mountains of cotton or pipes bursting with water and snow. These and similar phenomena are like a blow struck on the head of the negligent men who are ghafil, whose gaze is directed down to the earth. They tell him, lift up your head, look at the miraculous deeds of the most active and powerful being who wishes to make himself known. In the same way that you are not left to your own devices, so we are not free. In fact, we are under the control of one power who is ruling everything. So too, these phenomena and events have a master and a purpose. Each of them is caused to fulfill a particular task, and each is employed by a most wise disposer. The most wise disposer. So he is Mudabbir Hakim. So he is controlling everything perfectly with in a most wise way. So these happenings, the lightning and the thunder also, they are, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining, they are glorifying Allah. So there are maybe many aspects of wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in those happenings. I think in the seventh or eighth topic, Ustad is mentioning the thunder. So it is the angel representing the thunder. So it is like Ustad is defining Israfil Wari, if I am not wrong. So they are Israfil, you know, the duty of Israfil. He is representing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's manifestations of giving life. So the thunder has that duty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it as a sign of giving life to the lifeless particles. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing in the soil. So with water, he is also he is making, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making the lifeless particles of the water, causing as a apparent veil for the life. It's it becomes a page for the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala life-giving functions. Any comment over this, the thunder and the lightning? And this is the ending of the level, I think. This is the second degree. We will, inshallah, today finish the atmosphere after the heavens. Any comment over this thunder and lightning? Yes, the wandering traveler hears then the lofty and manifest testimony or to the truth that is composed of the disposition of the winds, the descent of the rains. So rain is coming down from the heavens, the mercy of Allah, and administration of the events of the atmosphere, and says, I believe in Allah. So the traveler, he was looking for his creator, his Lord. So he sees many aspects of his manifestations in the atmosphere, in the air, and the rain. Yes, in the happenings in the atmosphere, that which was stated in the second degree or the first manifestation expresses observations of the traveler concerning the atmosphere. So this is the translation of the Arabic part we can read, inshallah. So many aspects of his wisdom and mercy is it's summarized here. So there is no God but Allah, the necessary being, to whose necessary existence in unity, the atmosphere and all it contains testifies. So that it comes to my mind, I want to share the testimonies, testifying. This is maybe the first thing we make it. We know kalime shahada. We are testifying that there is no God but Allah. So Ayat al-Kubra is a part of the tafsir of Salinur. Sayyid Nursi, he is maybe teaching us how to make shahada. How can we make shahada? We say always, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. What's our testimony? So Sayyid Nursi is teaching us the testimony of us in the heavens, in the space, in the atmosphere, in everything. So we will go over what's happening on earth, inshallah, one by one. So we are learning how to testify. In fact, we are saying it, but we should know also what we are testifying. We are witnessing what. So we are learning here how to witness, how to testify to the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. Through the testimony of the sublimity, or the comprehensiveness of the truth of subjugation, disposal, causing to descent, regulation, a truth vast and perfect and to be observed. Let me read the Arabic part. La ilaha illallah الواجب الوجود الذي دل على وجوب وجوده الجو بجميع ما فيها بشهادة عظمة إحاطة حقيقة التسخير subjugation والتصريف والتنزيل والتدبير الواسعة المكملة بالمشاهدة. So whatever Sayyid Nursi he has mentioned in this book, also in his tafsir of all of his books in the tafsir, so he is writing what he has observed in the creation. So while he's mentioning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is showing us what he observed in the creation. So this is a very important aspect of the tafsir of Risale-i Nur. This is a tafsir written on the observations, whatever we see. So we are thinking upon it and we are trying to understand the manifestations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the outer world. Inshallah, we can end here and make dua. Inshallah, may Allah give us understanding of these meanings, increase our understanding of these meanings, inshallah. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم